What's up? This is your boy Budini Mussolini at Say That Entertainment. And we are here with
Donn from Strong Island.
Donn from Strong Island.
That's D-O double N.
Okay, now we're doing a segment on drug addiction. I always make this announcement before I start. This is a serious situation. It's not a joke. So we're going to hope that this is a good ride and a good story.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, all right. Starting from a child, where were you basically raised up at on Long Island?
So, born in 1967. I got two sisters and a brother. One of my sisters is my twin, 8 minutes. She's 8 minutes older than me, and she never let me forget it. We was born in Manhattan, raised in the Bronx until I was 6. Moved out to Long Island in 1973, and I've been on the island 50 years.
Damn, I never knew that one. Okay, you got a twin.
Yeah, I got a twin. Yeah, twin sister. She's she's a lot more pretty than I am.
You came up in a household with your mother and your father, or?
Yeah, so that's like a little bit. That's like a sticky situation, because my dad was like a womanizer, and 3 years after we got to the island, my dad decided that he didn't want to he didn't want to have a family no more, So he left us in 1976. He came back to Manhattan and left my mom with 4 kids.
Mm. All right, and so you got a twin sister and two.
A brother and a sister.
Oh, okay, so you got 4 siblings.
There's 4 of us. Yeah, my mother said she always wanted 4 kids because she wanted us to have somebody to play with.
That's dope.
You
Okay,
know what I
get
mean?
that. Okay, so you basically were raised in what town on Long Island?
So we moved to Medford, Long Island. That's exit 64 on the Long Island Expressway. And when we moved out there, it was dirt roads. The roads wasn't even paved yet. Nobody had grass. There was no trees. And 50 years later, if you go out there, you wouldn't even recognize it, man. It was, to us, it was like Candyland because we came from the concrete jungle, of the Bronx. 168th Street and Webster Avenue, 428 projects. And when we got to Long Island, man, we dirt mounds and woods and trees. We was building forts and playing.
Okay. This is about drug addiction. What's your drug of choice?
My drug of choice is crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine. Now, is this I'm pretty sure this ain't the first drug you ever did, right?
No, so I started using drugs at age 12. I never got over the fact that my dad left. You know what I'm saying? Like when I used to go to my friends' houses, their dads would be there. Their fathers would come home, and they had intact homes, intact families. You know what I'm saying? And
you say you started at what age?
12 years old, I started using drugs, marijuana and alcohol. I started smoking weed, and I stole my mom's weed. I found the weed underneath the couch.
So your mother was smoking weed?
My mom used to smoke weed. Yeah, my mom and my dad both smoked weed.
Is that the only drug they did?
As far as you know. Well, come to find out, my dad did. They did dibble and dabble in recreational drugs, cocaine, and things of that nature, and alcohol. They drank. They had parties. They had card parties and stuff like that. Some people don't even know what a card party is, but my mom used to make her little drinky drinks, and people from the projects used to come out to our house on Long Island, and they thought we was living it up. They thought we was the Jeffersons, man, that we had moved on up, you know what I mean? Because we had this big-ass house, swimming pool in the backyard,
But as a kid, you were never exposed to cocaine in the household?
No, they never did it, like, right in front of us or anything like that, it was,
All right, so as far as your education and all that was on tap, you went to Medford High School?
So, yeah, we was enrolled in the Patriarch Medford School District, and the first school I went to was called Tremont Avenue Elementary School, and that's when I experienced racism for the first time. These kids, these white kids, they would call me nigger and darky and ink spot and things of that nature, and they used to tease my twin sister. And let me tell you something. When I was a kid, you couldn't mess with that girl. She used to come to the playground and be like, my nickname is Scooter. She's like, Scooter. Her nickname is Lovey. My mom gave us those nicknames when we was 2. So she used to come to the playground and be like, Scooter, Frankie called me a nigga, or Frankie pulled my hair. I'd be like, where Frankie at? And I would go find Frankie and punch him right in the face, man. I spent so much time in the principal's office. And my mom used to have to come down to the school, and the principal would be like, Mr. O'Bear, he can't be doing those things, you know what I'm saying?
Question.
Yeah.
When's the first time you started smoking crack?
So my crack addiction started at age 18. You know,
This is the '80s, right?
the 80s, yeah, because I started sniffing cocaine at age 16. You know, and then 2 years later, you know, I met this dude from the, you know, God rest his soul, Giuseppe Vetro.
Let me hear the story of the first experience you sniffed cocaine.
The first experience,
First time you seen it, sniffed it. I
the
wanna
the
know that
first
story.
time seeing it, sniffed it was at a friend's house. We used to go to parties on the weekends, you know, and we thought we was balling with a quarter gram. You know what I'm saying? $25 worth. It was a lot of money. Cocaine's an expensive drug, man. And we used to go. You know, we spent more time in the bathroom than we did hanging out trying to get the girls. You know, but yeah, the experience it was very euphoric. You know,
How
cocaine.
did it happen? Though somebody pulled it out on you?
Yeah, somebody pulled down and they said, "Yo, you want to do a line?" And I'm like, "What the hell is a line?" You know, and went to the bathroom.
White person, black person.
White guy.
Sound like a white line.
Yeah,
You wanna go line?
want to do a line, guy? Hey, you know, and so you know, we went to the bathroom. He put the mirror, he raised it, chopped it up, and I'm like, "What do you do with that?" He said, "Sniff it," you know, and he rolled up a dollar bill. I sniffed it, and I just remember all my problems were solved. Like I felt like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. I was like, I was in La La Land, you know. You couldn't tell me nothing. You know, I was 10 feet tall and bulletproof, you know. And yeah, and from there, you know, the thing about drugs, a lot of people don't understand the things about drugs is that it's about progression. You know, you start at one level, you know, and you just progress. It's very progressive. You know, you start off sniffing a quarter gram, and next thing you know, you're sniffing 2 or 3 grams a day. You know, which is very expensive. You know, but in my case now, you know, I never really liked sniffing it because it hurt my nose. But when the dude introduced me to, when he introduced me to smoking it, it was, that was like my love, man.
How
Like,
long before? You started doing coke. You said 16.
16, yeah.
So how long before you reached the crack point? Like when did
So-
you meet?
Yeah, about 2 years later, like at age 18, you know, and I just remember, things just started going to hell, you know.
What made you transition from coke to crack? What made you go from the? Because I know an addiction is what you're used to. What made
Yeah.
you want to go there?
Well, like I said, we had spent I'm gonna tell you the story. We spent the night sitting in my friend's driveway. We sniffed a half ounce of cocaine sitting in that driveway, 4 of us. I just remember the plate going around and around and around and around, and next thing I know, the birds is chirping, and my man Joey was like, you know, we're wasting this shit. He goes, I know what we can do with it. And he's like, what? He says, we're gonna cook it up, you know. And I just remember my friend Mike went home and got the torch. Joey went and got some baking soda and a spoon and a ladle. He didn't get a spoon. He got a ladle. You know, because we had a lot of cocaine. We had about an ounce of cocaine, man. It was crazy. And we went and rented a motel room, the Midway Motel on Route 112. And 4 dudes were going to this hotel. We thought we was gay boys going in there to have a little, you know what I mean? But we was going in there to get high like a motherfucker, bro. And I just remember, he cooked it up, and I remember taking that first hit. It was, you know, I mean, I don't like to glorify it. I'm not trying to glorify it because let me tell you something. This shit absolutely ruined my life. You know what I'm saying? I ruined my life. You know, the drug didn't do it. The drugs was just a symptom of addiction. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that the drug is just a symptom. It's the attitudes, it's the behaviors, it's the, you know, it's the lying, the cheating, the manipulation, the stealing, just the degradation. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll degrade yourself, you know, for this drug. You will let people talk to you a certain way, a way that you wouldn't tolerate absent drugs. I know for a fact that dudes would not talk to me the way that they talk to me because it's all about the drug. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with my family, you know, I really don't have a relationship with the men in my family. My brother and my father, you know, even though they both sniff cocaine, you know what I mean? My dad's 79 years old. He said he stopped partying about 20 years ago. I believe him, you know. You know, he had a bout with bladder cancer. But my brother, he, you know, they look at me because I smoke it and they sniff it. You know, they think that they're better than me.
They
You know
look
what I'm
at you
saying?
different.
They look at me different.
Even though-
It's like the people that hang out with their pinky out having a drink. That's my father and my brother. But meanwhile, I'm a piece of shit, you know, because I smoked the shit because I've been to prison, jail, been homeless, from Manhattan to
Hold on the
Montauk.
account after you started doing crack.
Let me tell you something.
Because when you was on coke, do you feel like that made your life go in a different? Do you feel like the minute you touched crack, it changed everything?
The minute I touched cocaine, things just started changing.
Cocaine or crack or both?
No, cocaine, things was manageable. Things was manageable with just sniffing it. But once you started smoking it, you just started doing things. Man, I remember selling a VCR. I mean, I'm always going to tell the truth, man, because I know that if I lie, I'm only lying to myself. Man, this drug, this addiction right here, and I had periods of clean time, with this drug. I mean, I've been to rehab. I've been at Narcotics Anonymous meetings. I had a sponsor, a commitment, a home group, all of that. I went to conventions. I've been to conventions where at the Melville Marriott, at the Huntington Hilton, 5,000 people, 5,000 addicts in one room. People from California, all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the north to the south, people coming together to celebrate recovery. You know what I'm saying? And they do the clean time countdown, and they start at 30 years. Who got 30 years clean? And they count all the way down from 30 years to 1 day. And do you know that the person with 1 day gets more applause and hugs than the person with 30 years? Not that's not significant, 30 years, but that 1 day, they decided not to use drugs for 1 fucking day. Mm-hmm. And they made it to this convention.
And they get more credibility.
They get the praise because, it takes a lot of courage, man, to put that shit down, man. I mean, that shit got a hold of you, man. It grabs you by the ass and it tells you what to do.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna. I've been around that shit a long time, bro. I've seen a lot of people fall victim to it. I mean, I've been hands-on with the shit. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, boy. I never really understood the other side of it. This is why, a lot of my family were victims of it. Mm-hmm. So now, I hear stories all the time, and I tell people that these stories are amazing. Like, what's one of your most craziest stories involving crack?
The most craziest story that I could tell you.
You did crazy, and you was like, damn.
So, I'll never forget 1989. 1989 was the year that I became a serious criminal. Mm-hmm. Like, I was criminal-minded. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything revolved around more. See, people think that it's not. I don't have a cocaine problem. I have a running out problem and a more problem. I want more, and I fear running out. You get down to that last little bit, you're like, God damn, how am I gonna get some more, right? Mm-hmm. I started doing burglaries, and I did the time for it already. So I'm not telling on myself. This is 1989. I did 3 years, for it. I went upstate and everything. But they had me in the paper. A Medford man, has committed, more than, they said they had made more than 50, less than 100 burglaries in and around Bellport, Patchogue, and Medford. Mm-hmm.
But can you?
I pushed.
Did that many homes?
I probably did more.
That's a lot of cribs,
bro. So the craziest shit that I ever did, the craziest moment that I ever had, I pushed the air conditioner in because I didn't have an access point. I couldn't find an access point, and I saw the air conditioner in the window. I pushed the fucking air conditioner in, and the dude came out the room. Hey, get the fuck out of my house, nigga. And I said, oh, shit, I'm getting out of here before this dude shoot me. And I remember running down the motherfucking block. I got on the bicycle. I was riding a bicycle, a pedal bike, right? And, yeah, man, it was crazy, So I got on the bicycle, and I'm riding. And I said, man, I got to go get me some shit. And despite all of that, right, about to get caught, like almost got caught, right? I still wanted to go do more, right? So I went and did it. And I don't know, they got the APB out. Black dude on a bicycle, wearing this, try to break burglary.
You still on the street looking for something else.
Man, so I went on 101, Route 101 in Medford over there. And I burglarized the house over there. I come down, I got the VCR on the handlebars. I get on Bayview Avenue in Bellport. Here comes the sergeant. Come here, guy. We've been looking for you. Get off the goddamn bike. You know, and that was it. Party was over. From then, party was over. I went to jail. I had a $50,000 bail. I'm like, God damn, Your Honor, who did I kill? I said, Your Honor, that's a ransom.
That's crazy.
But that's how Suffolk County do you, man. Suffolk County don't give you something that you can make because they don't want your ass to get out. They gonna give you a ransom. They gonna make sure your ass sit.
All right, so with all these journeys, you said that there was time that you were off the drug. Do you consider that time when you were in jail, or do you consider yourself really?
So, you know, clean time, any amount of clean time that you acquire is your time and it's valuable to you. It doesn't matter how you got it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've been clean 3 years from jail. I've been clean 18 months on the street, 2 years on the street. The most clean time that I've ever had on the street is 2 years. I was 24 months clean, and life was just so much better. Life, they say in Narcotics Anonymous, life beyond your wildest dreams. And let me tell you something. I did things in them 2 years that I thought that I would never attain, you know, in my years on earth. And driver's license, I had a car.
I got a question. I'm curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
When you start, right? Immediately, do you know you don't want to do it, or you start liking it first, and then there comes to a point where you be like, I don't want to do this shit no more.
Yo, you never seen the commercial, bro? Cocaine, the big lie?
I ain't see it.
Listen, back in the 80s, they used to have this commercial that used to come on TV, and they used to talk about cocaine, the big lie. Like, and you lie to yourself, and you tell yourself, I've lied to myself on several occasions. I told myself, listen, I'm only gonna buy 120, right? I'm gonna buy 120. I'm gonna put the rest of this money in my sock, right? I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna do nothing else, right? Listen, before the motherfucking 20 is gone, bro, I was already reaching in my sock for another one. You used to lie to yourself.
So basically, you're saying the minute you start, the whole time you're addicted to this drug is like a force of you trying to get off.
Yeah.
Like you're going through this whole.
You're going through a war. You're
to get away from it.
Yeah, but there's some people that just see. I have a love-hate relationship with it because I don't like what it's done to me or what I've done to myself. You know what I'm saying? Losing weight, job, you know, car. You know, right now my relationship is in peril. You know, I've been with this girl for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And she's a marketing representative for a very prestigious firm in Melville. She makes 6 figures, right? My girl, right? She been carrying my ass for 3 years. It's baffling. Listen, the disease is cunning, baffling, and insidious, right? And it will tell you that it will make you believe your own lies. I lied to this girl so many times, and now she knows. Like I can't even bullshit her. She knows what the fuck's going on, right? She's very hip, but the thing that I haven't figured out yet, I know, but I haven't figured out how what to do. She don't need me. She wants me. Because she's self-sufficient and independent. I'm not bringing nothing to the fucking table. Right now, I'm a taker. You know what I mean? I'm taking from this relationship. I'm taking from our house. I'm taking from our financial, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When I think about it, right? When I think about this drug and what it does, drugs they do to you. Say you're gonna go spend $500 on some drugs, right? You might as well take that $500 and throw it in the fireplace and burn it up because that's essentially what you did. Burnt it up.
Question. You ever did any other drug other than crack and coke? Did you stem to anything like heroin, pills?
There was a period of time when I was staying in I was homeless in Coram, and I met this prostitute, and she wanted to swing a little episode in the motel. You know, I think I just pulled off a little jukes or something, and we went to the motel, and I was like, well, what do you want? And she was like, I want a bun. So I bought, and she wound up laying out a line for me, and I did it. But I never got addicted to heroin. I've never stuck a needle in my body ever. Like, I'm not afraid of needles, but it just wasn't my wave. Like I just.
How long you fucked with that for?
I'm gonna say maybe a couple of months. I might off and on doing a line or two. I never had a habit. You know, it was always like, you know, a bump here, a bump there. and I found that at that time when I was doing it, it actually took away the Jones of the cocaine. You know what I mean?
Do you plan on? I mean, are we still fighting the crack addiction? Are we trying to get off of that still? Are you working to getting off of that? Is that something you're doing at this moment?
Yeah. So listen, you know, they say that with drug addiction, you know, you reach a bottom. You hit bottom. But a lot of people don't know bottoms have trap doors, right? So I've hit my bottom, and several trap doors have opened up, you know, and I've experienced some things that, you know, like right now I'm fighting cases, you know, and I'm not going to talk about those because they're still open, you know, but I'm fighting 7 cases right now, misdemeanor cases, you know. They started at 9 months, you know, and now right now they went from 9 months to 4 months in the Sheriff's Addiction Treatment Program in Yaphank, so where I'll be getting treatment.
So at this moment, you're not really trying to get off because you got problems going on and it's not stimulating.
Right now, there's a lot of turmoil, and right now, the thought of going back to jail because, listen, I've spent so much time. Listen, I got 5 state bids. I got 31 arrests. I got 18 misdemeanor convictions. I got 10 felony convictions, right? And a million mama ain't gonna do it no more, right? And so you know, I'm just like right now, like, and
You seem educated, brother.
I just got a therapist.
Your criminal record is crazy. Bro.
Yeah, I just got a therapist last week, you know, at a place out there where I live in Shirley Mastic. So I have a therapist. You know, I went to see her last week for the first time, and you know, I'm really trying to work through a lot of, you know, my inner demons because there's a lot of things that I haven't dealt with from childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like I got issues of abandonment. My father leaving. I got physical abuse issues. You know, where I was molested by a family member. You know what I'm saying?
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, you know.
Tell me about it, bro. I want to hear all this stuff.
Yeah, so you know, so when my dad left, you know, my dad left in 1976, and I'm gonna say from like around 77. My brother decided that, you know, he needed a place to, you know, to stick his penis. You know, my older brother,
real brother,
my blood brother. He's 5 years older than me. You know what I mean? And he decided that, you know, he wanted to, that he was gonna take advantage of his little brother because I didn't know any better.
How much older was he than you?
5 years. I was 10. He was 15.
You ever, like, that was something that the family knew about? You ever told anybody, or you just kept it like?
So I didn't tell anybody about that. 26 years ago, I let the cat out of the bag. You know what I mean? And I told my older sister Javon, and I told my mother. And Javon was like, "Mommy, I believe him," and she's like, "Yeah, I believe him too." You know, and so they confronted my brother. You know, and he goes, "I never did that." He goes, "That boy's a crackhead." He goes, "Yo, you gonna believe that crackhead over me?" And like he's got them bamboozled because my brother also. Listen, all 3 of my siblings make $100,000 a year and better. All 3 of them, they up there. You know, they don't do drugs, but my brother does drugs. My 2 sisters, they don't use drugs. You know, they barely drink. They, you know, have a drink at holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, New Year's. Other than that, though, but they're about their business. You know what I mean? Own homes, they drive foreigns. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, the family you came up was like middle class.
Yeah, we middle class family.
What's your mother's black, your father's black, or you come mixed?
No.
I know it's
African
racial out there in Mastic.
Yeah, no. Both my parents. Listen, my parents met in Harlem. My parents are Harlemites. You know what I'm saying? They met on 125th Street, 8th Avenue. You know what I'm saying? When they were kids, and they, you know, did what it did.
Situation with your brother, y'all didn't have a brotherly relationship, or this was a brother that you was outside the home and I'm kind of lost. I know this is.
So it's really kind of twisted because me and my brother was really close. Like coming, I mean, like my brother taught me how to play football. You know, that was my sport. We slept in bunk beds. You know what I'm saying? We was cool. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Listen, I'm not responsible for like I've kind of dealt with it in a way, but I still have I have PTSD behind it. You know what I mean? I take medication for it. My brother's not gay. He's got a wife and a kid. No, he's never abused another man. You know, to my knowledge, he's never abused any other little boys or men that I know. I don't know him to be in a relationship with a man. You know what I'm saying? He's got a wife. You know what I mean? And he talks about all the time women. But I mean, I just guess that it's probably curious. He was probably curious. And I was vulnerable. I was there. I was like, he preyed upon me. Like my father wasn't around. My mom's had a boyfriend around the corner. Yo, as soon as my mom would get all dressed up. Moms would get dressed up and she would dress up to go around the corner. Hair, nails, makeup, clothes. Soon as that motherfucking station wagon hit the pavement, yo, go to the bathroom. And he was Bam Bam. Like I call my brother Bam Bam, and then there was after a while I was like, to me, I was kind of like gullible, And there was a time I was like, no, I ain't doing that no more.
So after that situation, as far as
it never happened again.
Never with you or him.
Me or him, and I don't swing that way either. I like the part that splits, not the part that hits.
You got something coming up with a case or whatever. We're not gonna discuss it, but you might go sit down for some time.
I might go sit down for like 4 months.
Is that gonna be your start of recovery?
No, I'm hoping that the start of my recovery is like imminent. Like tomorrow when I meet with this therapist, because I'm really contemplating having this therapist call a treatment program and sit me down before I go back to court.
Okay.
Because I know for a fact, I've been in this process for so long, I've done this for so long. I know that the only relief that I'm gonna get is if I put some time and distance between me and the last one. If I go sit down for 28 days, right? If I go sit down for 28 days in a rehab, away from it, boom, and then go to maybe, because I'm a veteran, I've been in the military, I've been in the Army. It gives you time to breathe. It gives you moments of clarity. You start sleeping 8 hours. You start eating 3 meals. You know what I'm saying? You go to your doctor's appointments and getting checked out. All
right. Well.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. We're gonna tie this up with saying, I am trying to help people like you get off of that drug, whatever drug they're on. That's why I'm doing interviews to put this out there to let people know how hard this life is. Open up a GoFundMe account so people can see your story and probably try to help you recover from whatever drug you're on at the current time. And that's the point of this podcast. And I appreciate you coming down and sharing that story with me, bro. And that was a deep one. That was serious. So for those of you who watching, y'all see again, this is a man that comes from an educated. He's very educated. Went to a school that was pretty decent high school.
It's probably
parents were middle class. He was
postal carrier. My mom's was a postal carrier. My dad worked for the transit authority.
You was in a household with your mother and your father. I usually go with the model that a person that's in a household with just his mom, or he's missing a parent like the father or something like that. That's be the reason why kids be on drugs, but that's not the case all the time, because we got your situation and where both of the parents was in the home and it still leaked into your household or leaked into your family, bloodline or whatever you want to say. So I'm saying that this shit could happen anywhere. There's nobody exempt from this. So there's people with problems in all angles of life. We're going to try to target this problem in black communities because this is where I see it the most. And I interact with people in these communities all the time. I appreciate you for coming down. And
it was a pleasure doing this because, this is not the only, I'm going to wrap it up with this. That I've been involved with social justice issues, and maybe post-production, you'll be able to see some of the work that I did with the New York Civil Liberties Union and the American Civil Liberties Union in regards to how legal aid used to give up people like me, because the name of my article is indigent until proven innocent.
Innocent until proven innocent?
So basically, I was indigent, right? I'm an indigent defendant, facing these charges. Now, legal aid society, they don't represent me as if I had a paid lawyer. Or my paid lawyer would go in there and do the damn thing. Legal aid would just be going in there, hey, Jeff, hey, Joanne, how you doing, What do you want to do with this guy? well, listen, you give us him, and then we'll give you the next one. And we proved that. I was a plaintiff for Suffolk County. Nobody else wanted to do it because they wanted money.
Right.
This suit wasn't for money, but we won. We made them change the way. We made them change the way that legally. Yeah.
So yeah. All right, that's another Say That Entertainment production. So we're gonna end it with that, and I appreciate you coming down, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate doing it for y'all.
Thank you. All right.
Let's do it again.
Sorry, Queen.
Did I scare you?
You scared me.
You scared the shit out of me.
I use this to go and